Alrighty, guys, welcome to this week's edition of Burning Questions. I'm standing in for Mbali today, who is currently on leave. So, guys, this week's quote card is one featuring former Proteas cricketer Makai Ntini, and it reads, "Nobody would be happy if they thought they were picked because of their color." Now, off the bat, that seems like a pretty logical thing to portray. Sholin, you put together this quote card. What are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, man, I couldn't agree with him more. I'm not really sure. I'm certain that he was actually a brilliant cricketer, but he's also a brilliant free thinker, in my opinion. Because I absolutely agree with him. I don't want to be chosen or picked or placed above somebody else just because my skin color might be a bit darker than the next person's or might be a bit lighter than the next person. I want to actually be chosen because of my abilities, the discipline I portray, and what I'm actually able to bring to the table when it comes to a work or a project or whatever the case may be. Those are the reasons why I want to be chosen. Essentially, I want to be chosen based on merit and
Mm.
not skin color. And the fact that that's a controversial thought in this day and age blows my mind. Because I mean, at FAN we all believe in non-racialism, which is essentially that people's character matter more than the color of their skin.
Absolutely. I think Tioko, we just reflected in Freedom Fanatics about on systematic racism perpetrated through something like the pass laws, for which
Mhm.
the protesters in Sharpeville in the 1960s stood up against. Now, I think obviously Makai Ntini here is referring to quotas in cricket, in sport. Now, what are your feelings about quotas? Because I think a lot of people might say we are addressing the past injustices, such as a racist law that past laws was. Now, is it such a bad thing then that now we're fighting fire with fire? We've got to tip the scales in the other direction.
Well, I think coaches are terrible. Coaches are completely terrible. That's something I must mention from the start. My whole thinking around coaches is that we should definitely empower people who were previously disadvantaged by the apartheid system, by the so-called system of whiteness and stuff. And but you don't empower people with a job. You don't empower someone who has never played football before by taking them into a stadium when there's an important game playing and expect them to play well. You empower people by offering them the skills and knowledge to do something, right? So
Mhm.
if ever we want to empower someone who's interested in getting into the sporting field, for example, and they don't have the right resources and stuff, you don't take this person and make them part of the national team. You provide them with the support to and help them become those players that could then contest with everyone else to be in the national team.
Mm,
Education wise, you don't empower someone with a job directly. You empower them with an education, then they
Mhm.
compete for a
mm,
job. That's how it's done. You empower people with knowledge and skills, not not
mm,
not that end thing, not by putting them in a sport team or giving them a job. It's nonsensical. But regarding
Mhm.
the code in itself, personally, in responding to it, I would not want to speak for everyone. I think I
mm,
could only speak for myself that I personally would not appreciate knowing that I have been accepted into the national
Mhm.
team of cricket in South Africa on the basis that I am black and nothing else outside that. But of course, there are people who would definitely appreciate that, would celebrate that. And these are people who, for the most part, we see fighting against people like ourselves who are
mm,
against BE laws and other racial laws. There are many people who are fighting those things and who are benefiting from the laws as they currently stand. And they don't
Mhm.
want to see the laws dismantled because they are benefiting from them. So
mm,
I personally would not be proud of such a situation,
Mhm.
but I do think there are people out there who are already proud of being given things simply on the basis of their race or gender.
And I think, if we look at this table from research at the Institute of Race Relations Studies, it's not the most up to date stats, but their 2018 field survey showed that the majority of people agree with Makayantini's sentiment, and I think that it just goes to show that 83% of people think that sports teams should be selected on merit and not quotas. Yet the quota system still persists. But one interesting dynamic that this raises, and we've got a comment here from one of our Facebook followers, and his comment is and his comments generally, we see your comments, guys. Don't worry, are generally a bit. Let's say they are opposed. They're often opposed to what we think and we suggest. And this comment says that. It says that people wouldn't want to be selected on their skin color, so insinuating that players are picked for their color is where it hurts. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but in a way, Sholin, that is the whole issue with the system, is that it creates this feeling that people are selected because of their race when you remove merit as the overarching factor.
Yeah. No, exactly. I agree with you. And I love that survey from the IRR. And what I love about it is that across the board, regardless of race classification, in this case, it doesn't matter whether the person is black, white, Indian, or colored. The majority of people agree that merit should be the primary factor when it comes to the selection of sports teams and not quotas. Because even if in the fact that if I have to undergo life-saving surgery or something, I will not be looking at the surgeon's skin color, but I will be looking at his ability to actually save my life by performing the surgery that's actually required, to improve my health. That's the thing I would be focused on. Whether he has a track record of successful surgeries, not because he was previously disadvantaged. And that's why I think it's so important that we actually start instilling that thing again, that, you know what, you are given an opportunity based on the merit that you have showcased, and not because you are not merely because you have more melanin in your skin tone than the next person.
Yeah, and I think what's important, I guess a second takeaway from me for the day is to base your judgment of success of a policy or program on its outcomes and not its intentions. Any last thoughts from your side, Tiago, before we wrap up?
Well, my last thoughts relate to the comment that you shared. I think it came from Facebook, right? I think if that's the conclusion that the author arrives at, we might as well just do away with quotas. Then let's take them out. Yeah, let's take them out if they are just sitting there and doing nothing. But they are there to do something, and what they are doing is that they are discriminating against persons who are not black, and yeah, they should go away for that reason.
For sure. Guys, that's all the time we have for today. As always, you can catch all of our content on our social media platforms at Badger of Liberty. Find us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, as well as Instagram and Twitter. Guys, thank you so much for joining me and my awesome colleagues, Sholin and Tiago. And remember that your freedom is worth fighting for.
Sure.